Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And something really interesting happened after the last Doctor Who special. It's very divisive, but not in the way that I thought it was going to be. In fact, The Verge put an article out yesterday talking about how they did the new Doctor dirty and how racist it is that basically Ncuti Gatwa gets to be a spin-off Doctor.
Yeah.
You know,
he's not the Doctor.
He's not the Doctor, and because David Tennant's still around, it's like there's always the threat of him being undoctored and David Tennant coming back.
Well, I mean, okay, he is the Doctor, but he's just like half of the Doctor.
He's like half the Doctor. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about this because I did not expect this kind of backlash. So we're getting backlash from one side that's like, yeah, Doctor Who has gotten too woke or too progressed, whatever, and then we got the other side that's like, no, it's racist because, you know, they did him dirty. He's the first male black Doctor. He's not the first black Doctor. We actually had another black Doctor, a woman, but like, they're like, yeah, he's basically just a spin-off. He's basically like the Miles Morales of Doctor Who.
Yeah, he's not like, it's not like one Doctor.
Right. He's not, it doesn't feel, honestly, it doesn't feel like he's the Doctor because the Doctor split and the Doctor's still around. And then we've got the other Doctor,
right?
The spare
popular
Doctor.
One. And now we have the spare one.
Yeah,
so if it doesn't work out, they can go back to the other Doctor.
That's exactly it. And they actually bring that up. And you know what? I don't disagree with them.
I don't disagree either. That's what I was thinking the whole time.
I think that is the plan. I think it's like, well, we'll try Ncuti. If he doesn't work, we can always fall back to David Tennant. We can always bring David Tennant back to save the show again, you know, because he'll do it from now until the end of time. So anyway, we'll talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants. Guys, get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Geeky hasn't been woohooing much lately. She's been busily...
I've been boohooing much.
Boohooing. She's been
My fingers hurt.
busily packaging.
And busily doing things.
Yes, lots of boxes of graphic novels. And if you missed out on Crimson Wren or previously on Clownfish TV, we're going to reopen this for another month. I need to change this, obviously. These books are in stock. They're shipping right now. A lot of people getting them, a lot of people liking them. So thank you so much for the support. We do have some of these books left, so we wanted to wait until we got the majority of orders out. We do have a couple stragglers. We've got some books that got returned because the addresses were incorrect. We got some of the other information wasn't right or whatever, and we couldn't ship them out yet, or we're working out logistics for international shipping. But the majority of the books are out the door from the first and second
like
chance.
98%.
Like 98%, yeah. And we'll get that one person to comment, like, my book's on here. I'm like, I know, 98%. We didn't say 100%. We're working on it. We'll get everybody taken care of. But for those of you who missed out, these books are in stock. You won't have to wait months to get them. We'll probably ship some out every week. So check it out on shopclownfish.com. So let's talk about this because we had all these media outlets.
They look like they're afraid of him.
Right?
They're all like,
oh my God. So yeah, you know, it's interesting. I thought that, you know, uniformly, is that a word? Uniform, that the media would be like, oh no, this is a huge win. Ncuti Gatwa's the Doctor now, and you're not ready for a black queer Doctor and blah, 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 blah. And a lot of them are. A lot of white dudes are. But this black author for The Verge is like, yeah, it's kind of a problem. It's kind of a problem because he's basically just like an extra Doctor. So the people that you would think would be excited about it really are not. And they're getting owned, I guess, over on ratioed over on Twitter as well. But let's kind of skip down to the part here. This is Charles. I think it's Charles.
oh yeah, we've done his stories before.
Yeah, you know, I'm not trying to single anybody out, but I think it's an interesting take.
Pretty sure he had some She-Ra takes too. If
I'm pretty sure. I believe he's actually of the same persuasion that Ncuti Gatwa is. You'd think he'd be excited. He's not, and he's not wrong. I'm going to be honest. He's not wrong. But we start with this, of course, you know, the Doctor, a shape-shifting alien from a planet full of brilliant time travelers, was almost exclusively portrayed by white men until 2017. And there was a small-minded, racist, and sexist contingent of people.
Oh,
didn't
yes,
like
okay.
that, yeah.
Always.
But here's where it gets interesting, though. Despite their being late to the party, Whitaker's 13 and Joe Martin's Fugitive Doctor both demonstrate. And I actually stop right there. Joe Martin's Fugitive Doctor, I thought was a better doctor than Jodie
yeah, you
Whittaker.
like Joe Martin you like that one.
People would have freaked out. I think people would have freaked out more if they'd been like, yeah, the doctor's not only going to be a woman, she's going to be black. You know, hey, guys. But no, I actually thought she was very good. I thought she actually...
Which you've mentioned before.
I have mentioned that before, but people just completely step over that. I'm like, I thought she actually had the presence of the doctor, whereas Whittaker did not. But that's just my own personal opinion. They demonstrated how Doctor Who could stay true to its narrative essence while also allowing the Doctor to better reflect the real world diversity. Well, actually, no, they
blah blah blah.
Because of the retcon, the Fugitive Doctor is always going to be controversial. I think, you know. Gatwa's run has seemed poised to do the same thing, basically breaking those ceilings, right? But everything about the way the giggle brings 15 into the picture, from the way he's left standing in his underwear while 14 remains mostly clothed, to the implication that two doctors will seemingly coexist, makes it seem as if Davies is trying to satisfy the contingent of fans who don't want to accept a queer black actor playing the doctor role by keeping Tennant in the mix.
Probably.
Ooh. He is the Miles Morales of Doctor Who. Doctor Who is Miles Morales. Those fans vocalized their displeasure at the idea of a black doctor in the same way people griped about the idea of a black Spider-Man, a black Captain America, or a black James Bond.
I don't really hear people complaining about him being black so much as just complaining about the writing, and that's stupid, and everything about it's stupid, and they're trying to put more about identity politics into things than it is about him being black. I haven't really heard the complaint so much about that as I've heard about why are we shoving all this other stuff into it.
I mean, I know some people probably had issues with it.
I'm sure you do too, but I'm just saying it's not like a main thing I've been hearing.
Actually, a lot of people were like, "Oh, thank God the doctor's going to be a dude again." That was. I heard that, and people said that he was actually a pretty good actor. I don't know. I never watched the other shows he was in. But again, if the writing's good, but it's not a good sign when the very first special starts out with Rose Noble. I almost said Rose Tyler. Rose Noble lecturing the doctor on pronoun usage.
Yeah, that's what people are mad about.
Sets the tone for the whole thing, you know.
That kind of stupidity. They're not really that upset about the guy being black. I really don't think if you're weighing what they're upset about, you know, I don't think that's one of the top reasons.
No, I think it's just the direction the show's like. You can have a black doctor and the show can still be solid and not be preachy. But unfortunately, right out of the gate, we're like, yep, let's just hit you upside the head with pronoun discussion. These are the same people who lost their minds at the sight of Black April O'Neil and can't wrap their minds around the concept of black vampires in Castlevania.
The Black April O'Neil problem wasn't, you know, well, besides the fact that, you know, they keep taking gingers and making them black, but whatever. Besides that, there's the whole issue that they made her frumpy as hell and she looked stupid.
If she was hot April O'Neil.
I mean, she didn't look like April O'Neil. Like, they went out of their way to make her as frumpy as hell. And that's the thing. But I don't see this guy complaining about, they're losing their mind about that. Well, maybe they're losing their mind because they're tired of gingers being race bent.
This is incorrect.
Maybe.
Though. This is incorrect. The people that love Mace Windu hated it when Finn picked up a lightsaber and then promptly disappeared for much of the recent Star Wars movies. That's why they hated that they set Finn up to be a Jedi and then they took it away from him and they turned him into a joke, a side character.
Yeah,
I think
exactly
that was horrible.
why.
They should have done that.
I would have rather seen more. I would have watched it if Finn was trained to be a Jedi. I think that would have been a much, much better series, which we've mentioned many, many times.
Again, these people, the people that are complaining about, people like us complaining about this, don't actually watch the videos. They don't listen to what we're actually saying. No, Finn could have been a very, very good character if they turned him into a joke.
They done Finn dirty.
I think it would have made more sense if I were in charge, but I'm not in charge and I will never be in charge. But if I were in charge, I would have been like, would have been interesting if Rey and Finn started out together, but then Rey kind of went to the dark side because she's a Palpatine, and Finn had to kind of work to get her back with Luke Skywalker. I would have liked that.
That would have been better.
That would have been cool.
I want to point out this one comment on this thing's pissing me off.
Just one
they're
thing is
talking
pissing
about
you off.
the specific brand of rage. The whole situation with bi-generation plays like Doctor Who came to the fandom's less enlightened desires. Like, if you don't agree that there should be a black doctor, if you don't agree with this person's take because they themselves are black, if you don't agree with that, it's because you're not as enlightened as they are. See, that's why that's why I get pissed. It's like, you can say, I think that's really, you shouldn't be saying that. I think that's unfair. You can say that. But when you start saying that everybody's less enlightened than you if they don't agree with you, then you're going to lose your argument right from the get-go, because you're basically saying that you're superior to everybody else. And to that I say fuck you. Even if you have a good point, I still say fuck you, because that comment was completely unnecessary.
So they bring up that the goodwill is squandered. Okay, so we have, not only does he split off from 14, we've still got 14. And basically it says that 15 is relieving 14, so 14 can take a vacation and stop being the doctor for a while. So this other basically replacement doctor, because he doesn't feel, because he's split off from the doctor and we still have the
Instead
doctor.
of being the doctor.
Yeah, it feels like this is just another replacement character. Like, oh, it's okay, Peter Parker. Miles is here. You can take it easy. You're both Spider-Man. So it doesn't feel like he's actually the doctor. But Donna Noble, one of the first things she says is, hey, you come in a variety of colors. That I thought was kind of a weird comment to make, but Donna also likes black dudes. So,
well, so they said that magical Negro quality. And it's like, what's funny? You know what's funny to me? Marvel and the Marvels actually used black girl magic as one of their lines.
Yeah, I know, right? So, that was actually
I bet you thought that was fine, though.
Black girl magic. Why the hell would you put that in a movie? Now, here's the thing, though. I don't disagree.
I think he's making some really, basically, if you don't agree with me, you're not enlightened like he is. That's what sets. I'm like, oh.
So here's the thing, though. This is the audience that Russell T Davies is trying so hard to pander to. I mean, he went so far as to take Davros out of his Dalek-mobile, his little command center pod thing, because it was too much like a wheelchair. They made a big deal about how number 15 has a wheelchair accessible TARDIS. So we had to make a big deal about that. Like, look how progressive we are. We have to make a big deal about pronouns and be like, oh yeah, by the way, you're just kind of the replacement doctor. You're just there. You're not the actual doctor.
I don't know. The way it sounds is like he's the doctor, and then David Tennant's like going off to do his own thing, but.
That doesn't make sense.
He's not the doctor. There shouldn't be two.
There shouldn't be two.
It does feel like there's a spare in case this one doesn't go well.
Yes, it's a spare doctor.
That might be a Disney thing, actually.
Like, we can't have so let me get this straight. We're going to have the goblins sing a song about eating babies in gory detail on Christmas, but we can't have the doctor deal with death and rebirth, which is something that's been part of Doctor Who forever. I mean, they're just like tossing the can, like, whatever. Everybody can be a doctor, just like everybody can be a Jedi, except for Finn. Everybody but Finn can be a Jedi. Mm-hmm. So, The Verge, did someone watch it planning on getting offended? Yeah, probably. I don't think Weinbach stay-at-home wives watch this show, so it's DOA. I think it's really progressive for the show to suggest white people can become black people. They're breaking new ground. Have you even watched the episode? Yeah, no, I think you did. This dude didn't even bother to think that the script was already written before Gatwa was cast as 15. No, I don't think it was. You should be ashamed of this tweet and this article. The Verge continues to embarrass itself. The author of the article clearly has never watched Doctor Who before, didn't pay attention to the episode. Actually, I think he wrote for IO9. I think he has. But I just think it's really funny. I think it's really funny that this is the audience they're chasing and they freaking hate it and they're finding problems with it.
But then if you say that, then everybody's gonna dogpile you.
Yeah. I actually think it's shit that we've got two doctors. I think it breaks the canon, and it actually does lessen 15's in, because it's like, is he really the doctor or just a clone?
Even when they did this before with David Tennant, and that version took off with Rose Tyler. He wasn't the doctor anymore. Like, he looked like him, but he didn't have the doctor power.
The meta doctor. Yeah, he was a human version of the doctor.
He was not right. He wasn't him. He is him, but he's not like the doctor, This, like, you have the doctor, but now it's to the doctors.
It doesn't feel, it feels like he's a knockoff of the doctor, because it's not actually, like, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around this guy being the same guy that came before him. And especially, like, even the way he gets his TARDIS, like, I didn't watch the whole episode, but I watched clips. because they were dealing with the toy maker, but he took a big old sledgehammer, whacked the TARDIS, and knocked another TARDIS out of that TARDIS. And this TARDIS just happened to be wheelchair accessible and happened to have a jukebox in it and stuff. I mean, it's so laughably, like, just cartoonish. It's just so, it is. It's like a cartoon show where the cartoon character gets, like, split in half, or you've got, like, a Darkwing Duck and Nega Duck or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it is kind of cartoonish. So, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see if they actually treat this guy as the Doctor or if he's just the backup Doctor, you know? He's Doctor adjacent. He's a nurse. He's the nurse.
That's not.
He's the nurse.
He's like a PhD as opposed to
he's the nurse
MD.
practitioner.
I would say PhD as opposed to MD. Go
He's
ahead.
the DO. So just a side note, Christopher Eccleston said he would totally come back to Doctor Who as long as they fire Russell T Davies.
I don't blame him.
And we're starting to see why. I know people were angry for years. They're like, why did he leave after one season? Why is he so grumpy? Why doesn't he want anything to do with Doctor Who? And he's like, yeah, you have to fire Russell T Davies. You have to fire Jane Tranter. You have to fire Phil Collinson. Fire Julie Gardner, and I'll come back. Can you arrange that? Basically, fire everybody associated with the show. I hate these people, and I'll come back. I think it's funny. So, yeah, I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. Unless they completely destroy the show. And then they might be like, hey, you want to come back? Because apparently all the old doctors can come back now.
Apparently.
You know. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.